my mom came into the room and she's like, look at my phone. And then I couldn't see it, so I had to look at mine. I'm like, oh.
I can't bet against Tom Brady. I have the Bucks winning 31-27 and Tom Brady going to his 10th championship.
Yeah, and I really think the Clippers' chance to win the championship was last year. And they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets.
Chris Paul is one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been the best player wherever he goes, and that includes with the Rockets.
You said you can't bet against Tom Brady, and as a Cowboys fan and what I just did last weekend, I am not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's two of the top 5 players in the league, and they are very, very good.
Hello, I'm Taylor Hearn, and you listen to The Outsiders' Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. And one guy, this guy was... I think there's a lot to be discussed with the transfer portal, but Cam Ward went number 1 overall, kind of appeared out of nowhere, played at Incarnate Word, and then had a great year at Miami and led to him being the number 1 overall pick. And the Titans selected him. But what, Austin, you posed this question, so I'll let you pose it to the viewer and to me.
Yeah. This is not necessarily the question that's on the front edge of it, but Does Cam Ward have the lowest expectations for a number 1 pick that's a QB ever?
Yeah, that's a great way of posing it. Yeah, because his expectations aren't high.
I even say like career expectations too. I don't think people are like, wow, the Titans got their franchise QB for the next 15 years guaranteed, right? And that's how we've looked at the last a fair amount of number 1 overall QBs that were selected.
Yeah, to me, he's looked at a guy that has a lot of potential, but also I think he could be a good backup. I think he provides a lot to offer, but yeah, his ceiling.
You don't draft a backup at number 1 though, right?
Well, yeah, no, but that to me is his floor.
Yeah.
I think he still has a lot to figure out.
That's true. I think mostly every QB that's a rookie has a lot to work on once they get to the league. What are your expectations for him? So we've already done rookie expectations for like this year, but for the next 5 years, what are your expectations given that he's the number 1 pick in the draft as a quarterback?
So he proves that Miami wasn't a fluke, that it wasn't just 1 year, a flash in a pan, and that led him to getting great money as the number 1 overall pick. And he's someone that shows that dual threat quarterback. He's a guy that can run the ball, but also throw the ball well.
Yeah, I look at it more than just that. I think that he has to prove decision-making stuff that a lot of young QBs really struggle with. I think that's really where a lot of QBs I thought were going to be a lot better kind of lose their luster. I think that's still the problem with Trevor Lawrence. I think that's still the problem with a lot of Tua. I think it's the decision-making errors that are made with those younger QBs that they don't actually get over until it's too late. I think with Cam Ward, the expectations for him to be solid his first couple years and growing to be a top half QB within the first 5 years of his career.
Yeah, I think those are the expectations. And speaking about low expectations, I think it could be low that he has a poor year this year.
Like, you think that people expect that or that it could happen?
I don't think the expectations of, let's say he throws a bunch of picks, or to me, kind of has the year Anthony Richardson had his rookie year and just kind of what he was doing before he got injured. To me, that wouldn't fall below expectations for the Titans and what they expect from Cam Ward.
Yeah, the Titans are going to have to do a lot around Cam Ward to make it to where he can grow as a QB. Because, I mean, Marcus Mariota, while he wasn't the first pick in the draft, very similar situation. He did lead the team to a playoff. He even got playoff wins, so he wasn't that bad as a starter. But I do think they expect more than what happened with Marcus Mariota. But I don't think the expectations are for him to be anything more than that. But I mean, just him being the number one pick in a draft as a quarterback leads you to believe that he should be more than that.
I see what you're saying because it's expected, oh, he's a generational talent. He can be a top 5 quarterback. But to me, as you brought up, if he's in the top 15, top 10 discussion sometimes, that to me is a hit on this pick.
I think that's how most people feel. But is that? I don't want to say fair because I think that some people complain about having too high expectations for players. But is that fair for a QB that is the number one overall pick, or is this just more of a situation than it is anything?
I think it's more of a situation, but yeah, given with the number one overall pick, you want to be viewed as this is a game-changing player.
I think that's too vague, though. Like, be more specific than just game changing. Because I remember the last video that we did, you did a top 4 or the QB video, top 32. The game changing QBs were top 4, but I think that's a little bit too high, right?
Yes, but to me, he's a guy that can make plays when needed, and I think I view that in the top 10. All those guys can show they can make a play, and they don't need a well-built offense. But to be consistently good, they need a well-built offense. That's to me where he can do some stuff on his own. That's what I view a number one overall quarterback to be, of a guy of you don't need a great wide receiving core. You just need one good wide receiver, a good O-line. To me, that's what you expect the number one overall pick to be, of he can handle this on his own. And then hopefully he has the potential to be that type of game-changing player of a top 4 pick. But when you are picking at the number one overall pick, you want the best player in that draft.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And people do draft to need sometimes more than just best available. But number one pick, I think, speaks for itself.
Yeah, and that is really what this pick was a pick for need. They needed a good quarterback. And that's what you're looking for, is him developing into a good quarterback. Where reality with the number overall pick, he doesn't have the expectations of being the best player in the draft.
That's true. We'll see how he does. It's going to be an interesting year for Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. I think expectations are probably, like I said, the lowest for a number one pick QB, arguably, ever.
Yeah, I agree. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.